Welcome to Rob Schmitt Tonight. On Saturday, Elon Musk fired off a mass email apparently to all 3 million federal government employees. The email was sent at the direction of President Trump, and it was very short and sweet. It said, please reply to this email with approximately 5 bullets of what you accomplished last week and CC your manager. Please do not send any classified information, links, or attachments. Deadline is this Monday, just before midnight, so in a few hours. Musk strongly doubling down on Doge, ignoring all the alleged chaos that's largely being manufactured by the media about what's happening with Doge and this audit of the federal government. And this all comes as a new poll shreds the narratives that are being created around Doge. Harvard-Harris finding 83% of Americans want the government to cut its spending. That's a left-wing poll, by the way, Harvard-Harris. 83%. 77% want a full-throttle spending review, basically an audit of the U.S. government, which is exactly what Doge is doing. Our government right now is panicking because they're realizing that the people really do run this place, that power is back in the hands of Americans who actually fund this large, way too large, and very, very wasteful machine. Our president today was asked about the email that he advised Musk to send. Take a look.
He wanted to know what you did this week. You know why he wanted that, by the way? I thought it was great, because we have people that don't show up to work and nobody even knows if they work for the government. So by asking the question, tell us what you did this week, what he's doing is saying, are you actually working? And then if you don't answer, like you're sort of semi-fired or you're fired, because a lot of people are not answering because they don't even exist.
So think about any company that you know, like in the private sector, that is profit motivated, that actually watches its pennies and has to know how many people it has and what they're doing. Think about how many lazy people work at any average company in this country. And then think about how many you probably think there are in the federal government. I mean, it's got to be staggering, right? We all know it. According to the Senate Doge report, only 6% of federal workers actually work in their office full time. 6% are going to work Monday through Friday. COVID's been over for a long time. Nobody took advantage of COVID more than those who work for the U.S. government, as you can clearly see. A lot of them don't even live in Washington or anywhere near the office that they're supposed to be at. A lot of them just live wherever they want and travel all the time. Send a couple emails. Imagine how many sit in their underwear all day long answering emails while watching Netflix. Those people are furious right now, like this field examiner at the National Labor Relations Board who was on CNN.
I felt absolutely infuriated getting this email with a demand within 48 hours to provide a response on what I did within the last week or face termination. This is clearly an attempt from Elon Musk to harass and bully and intimidate the federal workforce.
So you don't have an answer to the email? Is that what we can assume, young lady? She then claimed that Elon is doing this to privatize public sector jobs so that he can make more money. He wants to eviscerate the government so that he can run other companies and make even more money. She thinks Elon Musk, the wealthiest man alive, who often couch surfs for weeks at a time at friends' houses, despite being worth $300 billion, is doing this because he wants more money. So again, she just doesn't have an answer to the email. We can all see that. Government equals waste. It's just simple as that. We all know it. Never-ending budgets that seem to grow and expand. They couldn't care less if anybody's really working. Why would they? And that young lady is probably a very good example of it. On Friday, Kelly Loeffler, Trump's new head of the Small Business Association, posted this video saying you could hear a pin drop in the office of the administration that she now runs. Nobody is at work. In fact, she was the only one there, her and whoever recorded this with her. And she runs the SBA. We're currently spending $15 billion a year to maintain empty office space for the federal government. That's how many government workers are working in their underwear. $15 billion just to maintain the space that they're not occupying. Just the empty space. $15 billion. Trump and Doge winning the legal battle to dismantle U.S. aid as well. As we move along here through Doge, an entire agency that was created to spend your money all over the world, to give your money away. What started as a charitable cause has been corrupted by the woke crazies who were seen Friday on their last day at work. We can pull this video up in full and you can take a look at the kind of people that work at USAID, and you can just kind of guess the politics of everybody walking out the door. You can just kind of generally make that assumption. As you see, messages of Trump and Doge were scribbled on their boxes claiming that we're abandoning the world. These people abandoned us when they started exploiting our money to promote their own left-wing idiocy, and that's what happened at USAID. Transgender projects in Latin America, DEI in Africa, we saw all the examples that came out of USAID. And as they all scream and cry for their jobs, you can't help but realize they don't deserve these jobs. That whole place should be dismantled. You shouldn't be allowed to criticize the gutting at USAID without acknowledging how corrupt it had gotten in the first place. Nobody that's crying about USAID can defend what they were caught doing with our money. What started off as bags of rice for people who were living in oppression has devolved into a laughing stock of waste and frivolousness. And Democrats continue, despite hearing all this and seeing polls like we just showed you from Harvard-Harris, they continue to fight and scream and cry over this government's much-needed audit.
Elon Musk doesn't have the authority to require State Department employees to answer these questions. That has to happen in the chain of command. There's no Article 4 in the Constitution that gives Elon Musk that authority. And the way that he's been sort of, quote, delegated this authority is illegal. And the actions he's taking are illegal, and we need to shut down this illegal operation.
Just dig in that hole as deep as it goes. They won't shut up about this, and they're going to get killed for it. On 60 Minutes, former Attorney General Peter Keisler defends another part of Doge, which is looking at all of the unelected bureaucracy in this country and what they're doing with our wealth. Take a listen to this.
This is really unprecedented, and it's important to understand why. Political appointees get removed and replaced by presidents all the time. This is the top layer of leadership. But beneath them, and the core of the government, are the civil service. These are people who have developed expertise over often decades of experience working across administrations of both parties, and whose jobs are protected by civil service laws that have been on the books since the late 19th century.
Defending the bureaucracy that sits beneath all of our elected officials, you know, that used to work back in his day. He was under Bush. Both parties used to just want this big, sprawling government to grow and grow and grow. They just disagreed about how much they wanted it to grow. We now have a populist in power. And everybody's starting to look at the government and say, these people are not working for what we want and haven't been for a very long time. The whole algorithm has changed here. And much of the deep state is no longer nonpartisan. When Trump came in, all of that bureaucracy turned on him and worked against him for the first term. We saw it happen with our own eyes. And he campaigned on flushing them out if he was reelected. And that's exactly what's happening now. And the majority that elected Trump was more than aware that this was the plan. And as they scream about this audit, and they scream about all the damage it's doing to their government, because it's not really our government, it's working for them, largely working for them, their desires, what they want. They don't really care much what we think. They're hoping you forgot just how ugly government has gotten, especially over the last 8 or 9 years since Trump came in and since that algorithm changed. The pain that our government is going through right now was very much earned. That's the secret. You know, everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us. We're different. We report the real news. No spin, just the facts. Turn to us, and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmitt tonight on Newsmax.